There's a moment when she's lying in bed, mindlessly scrolling through her phone when suddenly your name surfaces in her mind. She doesn't know why. Maybe it was the way you looked at her. Maybe it was something you said. Maybe it's the silence. But here's the truth. If you can trigger that moment, plant that thought so deep in her subconscious that she starts to wonder about you without knowing why, you win. Not with neediness, not with pressure, but with presence, controlled, calm, magnetic. Neil Strauss, in The Game, called it the inner game, that silent current running through you that signals you're different. Not because you chase her, but because she ends up chasing herself through you. Mystery, the legendary pickup artist, knew this. He knew the game isn't about talking. It's about psychology, emotional leverage, silent tension, presence. And presence isn't loud, it's felt. It's what lingers when you leave. The golden rule to attract any woman without trying. Simple, stop trying to impress her, start becoming the man she wants to impress. The shift isn't in your words. It's in your posture, your silence, your focus. Most men operate from lack. They text her because they're scared to lose the chance. They compliment her hoping she'll see their value. But what happens when you become the one she's trying to impress? Everything flips, the frame shifts. David Data, in The Way of the Superior Man, nailed it. Women are drawn to men rooted in purpose. Not drifting, not waiting, moving forward, with or without them. The moment she feels you don't need her attention to validate yourself, she starts craving yours. That's the paradox. The less you seek her, the more she seeks your energy, and that energy it's cultivated in silence. In discipline, in not reaching out when your ego is screaming to. Think about this. When a woman sees a man fully immersed in his mission, something primal awakens. It tells her, this man doesn't need me, but if he chooses me, that means something. That's what makes her obsess. Because you're not chasing her, you're inviting her to rise and meet you. That's powerful. That's seductive. That's unforgettable. Now imagine you walk into a room, you're not loud, you're not trying, but every woman notices. Why? Because your energy is contained, it's focused, you don't need to prove anything. And that's when they start wondering, who is he? Why isn't he trying like the others? And just like that, you've broken the pattern. Most men act out of hunger, you act out of abundance. Women can smell the difference. This isn't manipulation, it's calibration. It's becoming the version of yourself that naturally attracts, without effort. You stop playing the short game, how can I get her number? How can I make her like me? And you start playing the long game, how do I build a life so rich in purpose that the right women are drawn to it, like gravity? That's what makes you unforgettable. That's what makes her think of you when you're not around. You don't chase, you master presence. Most men don't get it. Women remember how you made them feel, not what you said. Your calmness in chaos, your unshaken focus, your refusal to pedestalize her. That's what haunts her when she's alone. She starts associating your absence with mystery, and without realizing it, she makes space for you in her mind because you didn't try to fill it. Most men rush to fill silence, thinking attention equals progress. But the man who knows how to use space, how to disappear strategically, how to stay calm in the void, he imprints himself. That's psychological seduction. It's not about being available. It's about being unforgettable when you're not. Every time you don't react emotionally, every time you withhold validation, not out of spite but strength, she recalibrates. She feels the gravity of your self-control, and that's rare. In a world full of men begging to be seen, the one who doesn't beg becomes the most visible. She can't help but wonder, why isn't he like the others? That curiosity, that's the beginning of emotional connection. Behavior creates perception. Respond too quickly. Say yes to everything. Express desire too fast. She feels she's already won you. And what comes easily is rarely valued. But when you're selective with your energy, when your attention feels earned, it becomes a reward. And women crave meaningful attention. That's why emotionally disciplined men are dangerous in the best way. They're not manipulated by beauty, not seduced by validation. They don't act out of impulse. They act from vision. Women scan for emotional stability, not just charm, not just excitement, confidence under pressure. Controlled desire. That's what makes her think of you at random times without knowing why. It's not what you say. It's how she feels when you say nothing. She's met the flatterers, the oversharers, the try-hards. They blur into background noise. But the man who listens more than he speaks, who takes his time, who looks at her not with hunger, but calm knowing, he stands out. He makes her feel seen without making her feel needed. That's what makes her open up. She starts imagining. Fantasizing, projecting. Women don't fall in love with logic, they fall through emotional contrast. Uncertainty plus intimacy, distance plus moments of closeness. That's what creates obsession. She doesn't crave constant access. She craves selective availability, and every moment of your attention feels deliberate, valuable, charged. You become a memory in the making, not just another guy in her phone. Want to know how to make her obsessed? It's not more effort, it's more precision. It's how you carry yourself when no one's watching, your habits. Your purpose, the calm power behind your eyes. The more rooted you are in your world, the more curious she becomes. Women are drawn to mystery, but not chaos. They want to be emotionally challenged and emotionally safe. When you embody both, she thinks about you more than she'll admit. Detach from needing her attention. That's real influence. You're not a puppet of desire. You're a man who chooses where his energy flows. And that's rare, that's masculine, that's unforgettable, because when you stop seeking her, you become the one she starts to seek. She doesn't just fantasize about being with you, she fantasizes about being chosen by you. That subtle distinction, most men miss it. They try to impress, but the high-value man he chooses, not with words, with energy, with boundaries. With stillness, and when a woman feels she has to earn your presence, she stops taking it for granted. That's when emotional addiction begins. It's not about playing games, it's about playing reality well. Emotional centeredness equals power. Women don't want perfection, they want polarity. Feminine energy flows. Masculine energy holds, collapse when she pulls back, get anxious when she's distant, she'll sense it instantly. And it kills her respect, but stay calm, grounded, curious, and you show her something rare, emotional sovereignty. That's why detachment is magnetic, not because you're cold, but because your identity isn't built on her response. That tension, it hooks her, psychologically. You become the enigma, the calm storm, the mystery she tries to decode. She starts asking questions she never asked before. Why do I think of him when I'm with someone else? Why do I feel safe and excited at the same time? That's how emotional depth is formed. The more centered you are in your vision, values, discipline, the more unpredictable you become. And unpredictability, mixed with calm confidence, is intoxicating. She craves the man she can't fully figure out. The man who reveals just enough to keep her wondering, but not enough to kill the mystery. That's where obsession is born. Your energy doesn't lie. You can say the right words, use perfect techniques. But if your vibe says, I need you, she'll feel it. Women are intuitive. They sense misalignment. That's why your core, your mission, your emotional control is non-negotiable. When your energy is aligned, your words carry weight. You don't try to be seductive, you become it. She feels it in your presence, calm, grounded, unafraid, not needing her but desiring her. That difference, it's powerful. One repels, one attracts, one says, pick me. The other says, you're welcome to join. That's when she chooses you, not because you convinced her, but because your energy gave her permission to desire you. That's emotional anchoring, moments of intensity followed by calm detachment. Confident leadership balanced with space to respond. Flirtation without desperation. Connection without clinginess. Soon, she associates your presence with an emotional high. And your absence becomes discomfort. That's how you live rent-free in her mind when she's alone with someone else. Pretending not to care, you don't chase closure, you are the closure. You don't explain your worth, you live it. Every message you don't send, every boundary you do hold, screams one truth. Your value is not negotiable. She either rises to meet it, or watches someone else do it. That quiet conviction, That's what keeps you unforgettable. You reveal yourself slowly, intentionally, every word is deliberate, every glance has weight, you don't convince. You challenge perception, you become the contrast, and contrast burns memory. It's not about what you did. It's about who you were while doing it. That energy, calm, rooted, unshakable, doesn't just attract her, it awakens her. Because very few men ever reach that level where attention is earned, not given, and that's real attraction. It's not forced, it's not fake. It's built through how you live, how you lead, how you don't beg. Because the man who doesn't seek approval is the man whose presence commands it. Not by asking, not by trying, by being. So remember this, women don't fall for the man who tries the hardest. They fall for the one who knows his worth so deeply, he doesn't need to prove it. He moves with purpose, speaks with clarity, walks away with dignity, and that kind of man stays on her mind not for a moment, but for a long, long time.